Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today is Monday and we all know what that means. That means that we are here for the weekly update. How much did I make this week in passive income from yield farming? Now this week has been very interesting to say the least. If we go over to CoinGecko, we can see the whole market has been in an absolute bloodbath over the past week. Bitcoin was down at 55,000 at one point. Ethereum down at 2,700, I believe, at one point. BNB down like 470, I believe. So everything took a massive hit. We're kind of staying a bit sideways and starting to come back up now after a massive liquidation. I think it was the biggest liquidation since FTX, which is, interesting to say the least. So let's see how we have done this week. Now, it's not going to be as good as the previous weeks because, of course, the whole market is down. So do keep that in mind. Now, before we get into the video, definitely check out Crystal because right now you can currently farm the airdrop still. It's still going on. So if you come over to the points, Crystal points, again, I'll leave a link in the description. If you just use the Crystal app, you use the swap feature. For every dollar you swap, you get 10 crystals, which uses the Uniswap API. So it's essentially like swapping on Uniswap, but you're just using the Crystal dApp to do that. To farm the airdrop, you can just use the application and you'll generate crystals, which will turn into crystal tokens when they do launch. Again, you can just click this check in button here, and it'll give you 10 free crystals every day, just like that. But with that being said, I am not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Always do your own research and be very careful about what you're investing in crypto and DeFi because it's the riskiest stuff in the world. And with that said, let's jump into it. So we'll start over on Aperture. Now, the majority of my positions are out of range. So let's see how much we've made. 68 cents to start off with. Wow, that's fantastic passive income, right? 68 cents here on this Brett position. I made $13.43. Okay, Wheat and Toshi, we've done $4.38. And the rest of my positions are out of range. However, we made $7.94 before this one out of range on Ethereum. On Arbitrum, we made $6.32 on Optimism. We've made $20.50 on our Wheat and USDC position over on Base. $1.64 on Wheat and Arrow. Okay, and we've got, that's about it. Like 10 cents on there. I can include that, I guess. Plus 10 cents. So only $55 this week over on Aperture because obviously the majority of my positions are out of range. My Wheat position may go back into range today. Ethereum only needs to move $40 before I go back into range. So I'm not going to do any rebalancing or anything like that. The only thing I'll be doing is claiming the fees. And we'll see where we're at in a few days' time. So let's look at Airdrop. So although Aperture is down, the Uniswap positions are down, the good thing is I have positions over on Airdrop producing Arrow tokens every week. So let's start off with our OVN and USD Plus pool. We've made $115.95. So $115.95. Okay, USDC and Climate, we've made $85.75. I think it was 74, whatever. Wheat and TKN, we've made $25.55. And then at Wheat and Wells, we've made $79.33. Okay. So we're about 361 for the week, which actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be, to be honest. If we go over to Extra Finance as well, we can see that we're making, let's see here, $1.22 a day. So that's another, $10? So we can add $10 to that as well. So we made about 371 for the week. Now that's the good thing about having, this is the thing about having concentrated liquidity positions versus yield farming on a DEX such as Airdrop, where you're getting emissions in an emission token. Because when your price goes out of range, like again on this, let's have a look at this Ethereum pool here. Okay, because we went out of range, I haven't been earning fees for a good few days. Versus when you come over to a dApp such as Airdrop, when you're farming on a DEX over here, you're not in range. Okay, to supply liquidity, you do 50-50. So it's basically standard yield farming on a DEX such as Airdrop, where you're just getting emissions in the native token for that DApp. So Aero has been it did crash down to about 40 cents. Okay, but then we have started climbing back up over the weekend, which is good to see. So that is how much we've made for the week, 371, which again, in passive income, whilst the market has been in an absolute bloodbath, isn't too bad in my opinion. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. So let's see if there's anything else that we can take a look at. See what else is paying nicely. Have we got anything here that jumps out at me? Not really, of the meme coins and just tokens that I don't really like the look of on just first glance, to be honest. You've obviously got OVN and USD Plus, which has performed pretty well for me. But other than that, yeah, there's not too much on here that kind of screaming to me that I want to jump into. Let's have a look at APRs over on Uniswap. So if you go over to Hot Pools, Explorer, and then Hot Pools, and you can filter by the different chains. Let's have a look at Base, and you can see some of these best blue chip pools, best APR pairs, etc. So within USDC, 152%. Within USD Plus, 1,500% APR right now, which is pretty insane. Let's take a look at Polygon, for example, as well. And we can see WETH and DAI currently 1,000% almost, which is crazy. Matic and USDC, 300%. Bitcoin and USDC, 341%. So there are still some pretty decent opportunities, for positions with blue chip coins. Let's have a look over on Aperture. I can imagine the R pool is pretty high as well. Well, it's not even listed here. Bitcoin and USDC, 204% over on Arbitrum as well. WETH and USDC, 237%. Now let's take a look at DeFi Llama, and we can see the volume has been crazy over the past few days. So if you were in range, especially on the 5th of July, which I believe was Friday, you would have made a lot of money, because this is when the market really had a pretty big downfall. I think, since the start of the month, since about here, it did start to go down. And the reason this chart is so high is because the market crashed, essentially, and there was a big bloodbath in the market. Although we say that, but I mean, if you look at the bigger picture, Bitcoin's gone from like 60, 70K down to 55. Like last year, we were at 30K, So bigger picture, like, let's have a look at this, right? If we go to Bitcoin chart, people say the market's crashed, and I just use that because short term it has. But if you look at the maximum chart, I mean, yeah, this doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Relatively, if you look long term. But because the market has gone down short term, if your positions were in range, then you would have made a decent amount in fees. And the reason for that is because it doesn't matter whether the market's going up or down. If you're in range, you are earning fees. And if the reason how the market goes down is people are swapping tokens, people are selling their assets, which they have to swap on a DEX to do that. So that's why we're making a lot of fees. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of volume. So if you're in range, you made a good amount of fees, emissions. almost $11 billion for the day on the 5th of July in volume, which if we zoom out, I don't think we've had a day like this since, back in May, which is pretty cool. And again, over the weekend, it's usually pretty low over the weekend, about $3 billion over the weekend typically. This weekend a bit higher at $5 billion, so good volume. But it's a shame that the majority of my positions over on Uniswap have been out of range. But it is what it is. We have our Airdrop positions still providing us with income. Regardless of what the market's doing, we're still getting these emissions, which has been very helpful in that 371 for the week. So almost $400 for the week, even though the market has been in a bit of a bloodbath. I will definitely take that. Thank you for watching. Let me know how well you've done this week. Have you been in range? Are you farming on something like Airdrop where you're getting an emission token? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.